Finally, after 3 long decades, the Honda City is back in its original ultimate form. That's 5 doors, DOHC engine, and of course, front-wheel drive. Do you think that the Honda City hatchback has what it takes to replace the Honda Jazz in our hearts? We're gonna find out. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be taking a look and a drive of the Honda City hatchback. So we're gonna mix it up a little bit and start our exterior exposition with the rear. So some of the few things different for the Honda City hatchback with the sedan, of course, you got this rear reflectors, and no hatchback is complete without this meaty spoiler up top. The main difference would be, of course, it's got a hatch. It's got 5 doors instead of 4. You can fit all your stuff in it, and that's why we love the Honda Jazz in the first place. But I think that the Honda City hatchback has enough for us to forget about the Jazz, because look at it, it's pretty aggressive. You got this nice LED tail lamps, that RS badge indicating that this is the RS trim, but this is the only trim available for the Honda City hatchback. You got this carbon fiber trim diffuser here at the bottom here. It's not real carbon fiber though, that's plastic, and this weird odd divot in the middle. It's I don't know, gives it an interesting look overall. I see a lot of guys tuning their Honda City hatchbacks with, of course, a tailpipe finisher, but that's just me. Now, if you're looking for something distinct, something different on the road, the Honda City hatchback is definitely that. You've got this nice profile right here. It's definitely not too high to be top heavy, but it's low enough to be aggressive. It's got this nice character line that runs from the headlamps all the way to the tail lamps, which gives it a more subtly sportier appeal than it's supposed to. So heading back to those 16-inch mags that are shot in 185/55 R16 tires, which I think are pretty skinny for what this is. I thought it was actually one of those piano black or blacked out mags, but if you look closer, it's actually one of the stealthiest two-tone black alloy wheels that I've seen. Now, you know me, I'm kind of iffy about two-tone, but I kind of like the implementation in this one. So we're heading over to my least favorite angle, the front end. Why don't I like it? Because you can't tell the difference between the Honda City hatchback and the sedan looking at head on. But don't get me wrong, it's still a nice and interesting front end. You got this nice honeycomb looking grille here. You got your carbon fiber looking lower lip, of course your LED headlamps and LED fog lamps, and this nice character lines on the hood. Now, I'm not saying that it's not looking great. It actually integrates well with the entire hatchback. I'm just saying that Honda might have made it different from the sedan. So let's start with the interior amenities of the Honda City hatchback with the star of the show, which is the rear amenities. And look! You know what? Back in the 80s, the Honda City hatchback was actually introduced and partnered with a Motocompo, which is a small scooter that actually fits in the back. But since Honda did not introduce a modern version of the Motocompo, we had to improvise. This, my friends, is the Drift Motors Street Ray. It's an electric scooter that you can use. Now imagine having to park all the way somewhere far away from your office. I know that the world is opening back up and it's going to be hard to find parking because guys are actually heading back to the office, and that's something that I actually dread. Actually, I just want to feel like I'm in an anime. You're under arrest, anyone? So now we got the e-scooter out of the way. Let's take a look at the exact space that we got here. So as you can see, we folded down 1/3 of the rear seats to give you more space. Now ULTR seats has always been a nice feature when it comes to the Honda City and the Honda Jazz, and I'm glad that it carried over to the Honda City hatchback. So with the seats folded up, you got 289 liters of rear cargo space, which is not bad, but if you fold those seats down, they fold really flat, giving you 841 liters of overall space. Now, it's not about volume. You can actually fold those seats down, fold those seats up, and even configure the front seats for relax mode. I really love relax mode. I'll show you guys that one later. The most interesting part would have to be tall mode, which actually folds the rear seats up, enabling you to put tall items in the rear. Plantitos and plantitas rejoice. Now Honda's all about man maximum and machine minimum, so we've seen the cargo space. Let's see how it can haul people. The Honda City hatchback, especially here in the rear section, offers you a lot of space. You got a lot of leg room, a lot of knee room, and well, headroom's kind of questionable for me, especially for my height, but the seats are great. They're nice, soft, and supportive. But the only thing I don't like about it though, it's pretty upright. There's no way for you to recline these seats, although you could definitely fold them forward, move them around. It's very versatile for all your stuff. But for me sitting in the back, definitely could use some reclining action right here, but it doesn't have one. So you got rear AC vents right there. But one thing that I really love is it's got 2 power outlets at the bottom right there. So if you want to install some USB accessories, you're free to do so. Let's head over to check out the front end. All right, so in the front here, this is more like it. The Honda City hatchback is definitely a driver's car, and the seats are really supportive, and you can adjust them manually. As you can see here, you've got some aluminum pedals right there. You got your shifter right here. Now, unfortunately, this does not have automatic brake hold, but that's fine. You could use this nice manual parking brake right here. So you got some hard plastics on the dash, which is typical for a hatchback, and you got your nice leather wrapped steering wheel with all your controls that you need, and got this nice 9-inch touchscreen infotainment system for your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The last few models we've been complaining about the lack of tactile volume knobs and AC knobs, but Honda's got your back. Even has this nice ASMR feel to these knobs. Ooh. What I love about Honda's interior game is that they add the small details really nicely for you to add more ergonomics and convenience. Now on top of the 2 cup holders in the front, you've got this nice space here for cell phones, for smaller items, and on top of that you got another shelf for you to place your phone in. You can keep that out of the way. That's nice and tidy. And of course, a nice center armrest with a deep console inside. Now behind the steering wheel, of course, you got your pedal shifters, but we're going to talk about that later on the drive. It's very edgy, literally edgy, this dashboard right here. It's got those nice bezels on the AC vents, and even the black headliner, the black trim and everything. Of course, this is the RS model, so they want you to drive this and be inspired while driving. The only thing I don't like about this though, and my girlfriend agrees, the mirrors, they don't have a vanity light in them, but as a driver, you don't really care about that, do you? Now the Honda City hatchback does not have Honda sensing, but it is easier to park because you don't have to worry about a trunk right there. It's just glass and nothing else, but it makes it a lot easier to park thanks to this backup camera right here on the screen. Overall, I love the interior. I love the red accents. It's edgy, it's youthful, it's sporty. Let's hit the start-stop button right here and take this for a drive. So we're off in the Honda City hatchback RS. So under the hood you'd find the usual 1.5 liter naturally aspirated dual overhead cam engine, which makes 120 horsepower and 145 newton meters torque, which in its class is actually pretty class leading, considering that most 1.5 liter mid-size hatchback and sedans wouldn't even dream of reaching that number. Now in actuality, that power is pretty sufficient for this type of vehicle. So powering that 1.5 liter engine is a CVT transmission. Now let me just show you what exactly a CVT means, especially for car enthusiasts. Now for CVT transmissions, you don't usually have actual gears, and you make this weird droning noise, especially when you put the pedal to the metal right there. But CVTs are great for fuel economy, but even though you have a CVT, you can still row through your own simulated gears thanks to these paddle shifters on the steering wheel, which I gotta say, feel kind of nice, even though they're just plastic. It doesn't have that nice clangy sound to it, unlike other paddle shifters on different brands. But this one here, it's nice. There you go, I can row through all 7 simulated gears. No problems. Steering wise, the Honda City hatchback feels pretty aggressive, feels pretty nice. Even though you only have an electronic power steering system here, it's not dead at all. Unlike most electronic power steering systems out there, you still have that nice road feel. It has some nice weight to it. So if you were interested in some, aggressive driving, it's definitely not going to let you down. See? Suspension setup on Honda City hatchbacks pretty tame, pretty normal. You got McPherson struts up front and a rear torsion bar, suspension. So a lot of people might be complaining, especially you driving enthusiasts out there, why doesn't it have independent suspension all around? Considering that you got a small car with a small wheelbase and short overhangs thanks to being a hatchback, I'd say the ride comfort is pretty nice, pretty adequate, and it feels pretty pliant, especially if you're, attacking the corners and making sure that everything is nice and there's not much body roll in here, but still give a lot of comfort for the guy sitting on the back. Speaking of picky passengers, my picky passenger in the back actually finds the Honda City hatchback pretty comfortable, especially when you're driving on nice roads such as these ones. But one thing about the NVH levels is that the engine noise definitely permeates inside the car, as you might have had heard earlier. And those hard tires, those skinny hard tires, definitely the road noise, it doesn't help with the road noise at all. But if you consider what the Honda City hatchback is for, it's in the name itself, Honda City. It's made for the city driving. I don't think a lot of people will be complaining a lot and won't be expecting this to be a luxury European car. Speaking of city, the Honda City hatchback has great fuel economy, as you would expect from this particular kind of car. The traffic's been building up a lot these days, but if you just modulate the throttle a little bit, make sure that you practice good fuel economy driving, you can definitely get 8 kilometers per liter in the city in this one. But once you hit the highway, that CVT kicks in. Oh boy, 12 to 13 kilometers per liter. That's fine. It's definitely fine. It's not class leading, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of other cars that would probably be more fuel efficient than the Honda City at this point. But if you're a fan of the Honda City, especially in the hatchback version, the way it looks, nice ergonomics inside, great performance in ratio with the fuel economy, definitely won't be looking for anything else. It's a great drive. I won't be blaming you if you'll be picking this one over the rest. Pricing for the lone variant of the Honda City hatchback, which is the RS trim, is 1,115,000 pesos. And considering that the Jazz at the time it was available was actually more expensive than this one, I'd say that the Honda City hatchback might be a great alternative, especially price-wise. Now, unfortunately, there are no manual transmission variants for this one, but that CVT, if you give it a chance, it's definitely not bad. Safety features include dual front airbags, side airbags, and side curtain airbags. Definitely not looking for enough airbags in this one. We've got ABS with the electronic brake force distribution, and unfortunately it does not have Honda sensing, but if it does have Honda sensing, you can only expect the price to jack up, which Honda doesn't want. They want you to afford the Honda City hatchback, so I guess Honda sensing is out of the picture. So I was pretty excited when the Honda City hatchback was released, but I was kind of bummed when they decided to phase out, in the Philippines at least, the Honda Jazz. But would I say that the Honda City hatchback is a worthy replacement? Hell no, because it's not a replacement. It's a return to form for the Honda City hatchback. And would I choose this over the Honda City sedan? Definitely yes. So there you have it, guys. It's the Honda City Hatchback RS. In conclusion, is this a Honda Jazz replacement? Definitely not. The Honda City Hatchback is its own car in its very right. Now, but would you pick this over the Honda City sedan? That's a question I want to ask you guys, and I want to see your answers in the comment section down below. So while you're in the comments section below, if you love this video, leave us a like, and while you're at it, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon to be alerted whenever we upload a new video. Once again, this is Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph. I'll see you guys next time.